we're doing our third attempt at naan today. The first attempt, I hadn't made any adjustments for being in Denver, which is, I'm actually in Longmont, which is more than 5,000 feet above sea level, which you need to adjust because we're under either higher or lower pressure. I don't know, right? But I think I got the recipe, but those were miserable. They were like shoe leather dipped in too much oil, and I cooked them on the stove. The second attempt, I did some altitude adjustments. I put in an extra egg and a little bit more liquid. And I think the dough was much better. It was stickier and it raised better. And I cooked that one in the oven. Those were also good. In the oven I think worked better. There was less oil, but they were too thin. So I think it was my method. My recipe I'm going to keep the same, and I'm going to make thicker rolls when I roll them out and see how that does. So I've got here my 560 grams of flour, 2 eggs. I've got 5 grams of baking powder. I've got 8 grams of sugar, the fine stuff. They call it castor sugar, but if you go to the store and it says fine sugar or baking sugar, that'll do it. And then I put, the recipe calls for 10 grams of salt. I put 12. I was craving a little bit more salt in there. We've got 135 milliliters of water and 150 milliliters of milk, 560 grams of flour. Here we have the coffee. I make 1 big French press of coffee a day. Look at that. You can see the oil slick on the top of it. It's so good. This does not go in the recipe. This goes in my gullet. All right, so we're gonna get started with our drying ingredient. That feels like the oil is nicely incorporated. The other thing that'll happen in Colorado is that it's so dry here. You know, we've got a process where we're supposed to cover this in a damp cloth and allowed to rest for a couple of hours. I want to be very cautious that it not dry out in that time. So I'm going to actually put 2 damp cloths on top of it. Making them less damp than I might otherwise. So there's not water dripping off of it, but I did a casual squeeze rather than an enthusiastic one. Tucking it around the edges there. And I'm putting on damp cloth number 2. And guess what? I think I'm even gonna put a cling wrap over the top of that, though I'm not going to seal it. rests for 2 hours, at which point I'll be back and we'll do something else. So I didn't turn the record button on, but you've seen me do this process before. I oiled the surface and I rolled these into balls. Normally I would cover this with cling wrap for 30 minutes and then start cooking, but I'm going to go out and show some houses today. So the recipe says that you can refrigerate this. You just need to bring it back to room temperature before you cook it. So I oiled the bottom of this pan, rolled these into balls, covered it in some cling wrap. But because we're in Colorado, it's so dry, I'm going to improvise and put that damp cloth back down on this. Just so that, since it's going to be several hours before I get back to it, and I don't want that dough to dry out. So we'll be back after showing houses and we'll cook some naan, see how it goes. Okay, so I put the dough balls in the fridge at noon. I got home about 5, took them out to let them get to room temperature, and now it's about 9. So these are 12 hours since I shaped them. So we will see how they do. I have heated the oven to broil, and I'm going to put the actual baking dish that I'm going to cook them in right in so that it gets hot, hot, hot at the same time as the oven does. I'm going to try melting butter with some garlic paste in it that I can then paint on top of them once they come out cooked. So let's go on over to the stove and I'll show you what I'm doing with the garlic butter. So my tendency would be to put it on way too high and burn it. So I've got it on high right now, but I'm turning that down to maybe 2. It's at 3, which is about medium low. And this is the garlic paste that I get at my little Asian grocery store. And I'm going to put a lot of that in here. Look at this adorable little spatula. Whatever. And I guess that's 1, 2. I'm gonna guess that's 4 tablespoons maybe. And if 4 is good, 5 is better. I don't want either the butter or the garlic to burn. I just want it to melt and cook just a little bit. So I'm gonna actually turn this down a little bit further. Now I've got it to 2. And I'm gonna come back and roll out the first 2 naans. Put the ghee in there, kind of move it around. In fact, I think I'll use my little butter mover. You can hear that acting oily, can't you? Yeah.
And I want these things to be as close to directly under the element of the broiler as I can get them. That's why I think I'm only going to do 4 of these at a time. Here's number 1. Number 2. 3. I'm going to get these as close to each other as possible. And 4. I have a good feeling, even though these the dough sat for a long time. So now, remember the heat pad, because this thing has been in a 450-degree oven. They feel a little heavy and dense. Butter, butter, then I'm going to pile them back up again. And this time I think I'm going to put the ones that are buttered in one cloth, so that they don't keep getting air on them. And then continue to put the intro batch right here.
How's the naan coming?
We just got it going back again. I was showing most of the day. All right. Now we're going to try this again out of the oven. My favorite. These completed ones. I'm going to take one of these ones from the bottom just to see. Those were the first ones that we made. Here. Covered. So these they're cooked through. They're certainly not fluffy. I think maybe next time I'll cut back the oil a little bit. So keep the increased egg. Maybe even increase the baking powder just a scotch. A little bit less oil. Don't mess with the rise time. And I think less of this garlic paste. The garlic paste has got a little bit of a flavor of garlic, which I'm not a big fan of. I may even try mushing up garlic myself so that it's really fresh paste. That might be better. a little bit of coloring. I'm gonna give it another 30 seconds. The exterior is better. You've got some browning on it, some coloration, but it's not crispy. They didn't puff up much. It's almost a return to the first batch of these. A little bit of shoe leather, but at least there's less of a fire department event in here. So these I put in for a total of 2.5 minutes. They've got some color. They puffed up a little bit. Put them in for another 2 minutes. So we have not achieved the perfect home naan yet. Next attempt will be longer cook time, a little bit less oil, a little bit more baking powder. Don't let the dough sit for 9 hours.